The Galactic Archaeological Institute's most prized artifact sat behind reinforced quantum glass, its metallic surface gleaming under the sterile lights of Laboratory 7. For 300 years, the greatest minds of 17 different species had attempted to decipher the mysterious script etched into what appeared to be a primitive data storage device from a dead world called Earth. Dr. Zixithera, the Institute's leading xenolinguist, ran her tentacles across the holographic display showing the artifact's surface. The symbols were unlike anything in their vast databases, angular, aggressive, almost violent in their construction. Her colleagues had theorized everything from ancient religious texts to mathematical proofs, but nothing had yielded results. The complexity suggests a highly advanced civilization, she murmured to her research partner, Dr. Kaveth, whose crystalline form shimmered with frustration. Yet the planet showed no signs of technological development when we surveyed it. Earth had been discovered as a barren wasteland, its surface scarred by what appeared to be nuclear devastation. The only remnants of its former inhabitants were scattered artifacts like this one, leading the galactic community to classify the unknown species as a cautionary tale about self-destruction. The laboratory's doors hissed open, interrupting their contemplation. Dr. Neha Sharma, the Institute's newest human liaison, entered with her usual brisk efficiency. Behind her walked a grizzled human male with weathered features and tired eyes. Adnan Cross, a veteran of humanity's recent integration wars. "Doctors," Neha announced, "I've brought someone who might be able to help with the Earth artifact." Dr. Zixithara's tentacles twitched with skepticism. Humans were the galaxy's newest members, barely past their first interstellar conflicts. What could this primitive species possibly know about Earth's ancient mysteries? Adnan approached the display case, his combat boots echoing in the sterile chamber. He studied the artifact for a long moment, his scarred hands clasped behind his back. The alien researchers watched expectantly, waiting for another failed attempt at translation. Then Adnan began to laugh, a deep rumbling sound that seemed to shake the very foundations of their academic certainty. "You've got to be kidding me," he said, wiping tears from his eyes. "You've been studying this thing for 3 centuries? Indeed, Dr. Kaveth's form pulsed with indignation. The linguistic complexity has challenged our finest. "I wrote this," Adnan interrupted, his voice cutting through their protests like a plasma blade through tissue paper. The silence that followed was deafening. Dr. Zixithera's tentacles went rigid, while Dr. Kaveth's crystalline structure flickered with disbelief. "Impossible," Neha whispered, though her voice carried a note of dawning horror. "The dating shows this artifact is over 800 years old. You're only 63. Adnan shrugged, approaching the display controls. "Mind if I—" Without waiting for permission, he activated the holographic interface and began manipulating the symbols. To the alien's astonishment, text began appearing in perfect galactic standard. "Property of Staff Sergeant Adnan Cross, 3rd Mechanized Infantry Division. If found, return to Forward Operating Base Charlie. Contents include 1 bottle of Kentucky bourbon, 3 packages of Earth cigarettes, 1 photo of Sarah, beautiful woman, not my wife, emergency chocolate rations, and assorted entertainment materials not suitable for mixed company. Side note, if Jenkins reads this before returning it, I'll court-martial his sorry ass." The laboratory fell silent except for the hum of life support systems. 3 centuries of academic research, countless dissertations, entire careers built on studying this ancient mystery, reduced to a soldier's hidden stash. This can't be correct," Dr. Zixithera stammered. The linguistic analysis showed complexity levels indicating shorthand military code, Adnan explained casually. "We developed it during the resource wars, had to keep our personal stuff hidden from commanding officers and enemy forces. The complexity you detected was just creative cursing mixed with tactical abbreviations." Dr. Kaveth's form had turned a deep shade of embarrassment purple, but the planet was surveyed as uninhabitable. "The radiation signatures, the devastation. Yeah, we had a bad century there," Adnan admitted. "Third World War, then the climate wars, then the resource wars. We evacuated the most damaged areas and moved underground or off-world for a few generations while the planet healed. By the time we came back to the surface, most of the old military sites were buried or forgotten." Neha stepped forward, her scientific mind already grasping the implications. "You're saying that humanity has been spacefaring for centuries?" That we've been watching galactic civilization develop while pretending to be newcomers? Not exactly, Adnan replied, his expression growing serious. We've been out here, sure. Small colonies, research stations, military outposts. But we learned early on that announcing your presence to the galaxy can be problematic. Better to let other species think you're primitive until you understand their intentions. Dr. Zix, Thara's worldview crumbled as she processed this revelation. You've been observing us? Studying our weaknesses while we believed you to be inferior. Look, I'm just a grunt. Adnan held up his hands defensively. The diplomatic stuff is way above my pay grade. I just recognized my own handwriting when I saw it. The irony wasn't lost on any of them. The galaxy's most advanced civilizations had spent 3 centuries trying to decipher a shopping list written by a bored soldier. Meanwhile, humanity had been quietly watching, learning and preparing for the day they would reveal themselves on their own terms. As alarms began blaring throughout the Institute, no doubt triggered by the suddenly very significant implications of first contact protocols being completely wrong, Adnan picked up his old storage device. Mind if I take this back? He asked. I think there might actually be some bourbon left in there, and after 800 years, it's got to be aged perfectly by now. Dr. Neha Sharma smiled as she watched her species' carefully maintained facade finally slip away. Humanity hadn't been conquered, hadn't been saved, and certainly hadn't been studied. They had been patient, and in the galaxy's vast library of cautionary tales, perhaps that was the most terrifying discovery of all.